Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Canada has won the toss and elected to bowl, and we will be starting shortly.
Good morning, good morning. We're coming to you live from the Broward County Stadium on day 2 of this 3-day tournament, the ICC Women's Qualifiers, Canada versus the United States of America. And the match officials here today, we're going to be having Arnold Madela and Samir Mandeka. And the third umpire would be the lady, Jacqueline Williams. So the umpires, they are in the ready position. And now the scorers, we have Jermaine Lindo, we have Mandela, and Wayne. Yes. So those are the 3 scorers who will be sending you out those scores as you're viewing the streaming, because we're going to be coming on live with you. And commentary, Ivor Henry. As you can see on your screen, the players are in the ready position. And we're going to be starting proceedings from the northern end. We'll give you that bowler, number 12. So Zia seemed to be the bowler sporting the number 12. Am I sure? No. Oh, is it number 12? Ken, the captain, is going to be opening the bowling attack from the northern end. And we'll try to get the batter's name in a minute. Okay. So it's just bang on 11 o'clock, and the umpires are in the ready position. We have officiating from the northern end here. It's Arnold Mandela. First delivery, swinging down the leg side. There's some goodwill on this. It's gone past the short fine leg, sold about 2 meters inside of the boundary. So we're up and underway running, 2 for no loss. Early in the day, Canada would have won the toss and they elected to field. Yesterday, the US of A would have won the toss and they put the Canadians into bat. They would have scored some 66 for 6 from their 20 overs. But today, they're going to be doing the chasing. So Chandrasekhar, she is on 2, having faced the first delivery. So she's outside the off stump, and this one is wide of the mark, and it's called and signaled wide there by umpire Mandela. Score advanced by 1-3 for no loss. Yesterday, these same 2 batters would have batted yesterday, and they would have engaged in a partnership of 67 for no loss when they were asked to chase that 67, when Canada would have made just 66 from their 20 overs. But today is a different day. It is Saturday, and if you're waking up, it's good morning. If the sun is going down on you, it's good evening. And if you're into the dead of night, it's good night. As the third delivery is played back along the track, and the dot goes into the book. So a good start here by both teams. They would have scored from the first delivery. And again, the 2 umpires officiating this match. It's Samir Bandekar. Outside the off stump, and she's going fishing on dry land. Came up with nothing. The wicketkeeper collects. So we have 2 dots on the trot. I want to say a pleasant good morning to all of the viewers on stream. And again, we ask you to tell your neighbors, tell your friend that we're coming to you live from the city of Lauderhill, from the Broward County Stadium right here in Fort Lauderdale in the US of A. The sun is with us, and there's no immediate threat of rain, though. And here it is. We have a hat trick of dots. So a good comeback by the bowler. That's Can, the skipper, taking matters into her own hands. And accompanying Swandeka is Wendla. She's yet to face. And as I spoke about, the sun is out in all his glory. It's gone hiding behind a cloud. This time she's stroking this one nicely. to the right of mid-off, and the mid-off knocks it down. The scampers through for a single, and that now brings Wenda into strike for the first time. Chandrasekhar, she goes on to 3, and the total goes up to 4 for no loss. Again, the USA have been asked to take first strike, so they're trying to set a target. So as we come to the end of over number 1, it is 4 for no loss. And yesterday we would have seen the female umpire, Jacqueline Williams. She would have accompanied by Arnold Mandela. Today she has become the third umpire. So from all accounts, it was an easy day in the office. It was just 66 runs posted by the Canadians when they were sent into bat by the Americas. Let's be reminded that this is an ICC Women's World Qualifying match, and this is the second of 3 matches. So I think we're going to have the bowling from the northern end, I beg your pardon. I would have given you wrong information from first. We started from the southern end, and now we're going to be bowling from the northern end. From the look of things, it might be Zia. I'm going to see. So 1 more to the total in terms of wide. So it's 2 to the total, as a matter of fact, because the batters did cross. Take the total onto 6. This time he's playing this one off the pads. He's beating the short square leg, and it's running out to the boundary. And they're going to be scampering for 2. Would they take on the arm of the fielder? No, it's a good throw coming into the keeper. Meantime, the batters would have crossed for 2. That one was worked right off the leg stump, went past the short backward square leg, and the mid-wicket gave chase and limited the batters to 2. 8 for no loss. What happened? Outside the off stump, and good delivery, beating the batsman as she was playing down the line, and missed. Again, it's 8 for no loss. It's a 20-20 over encounter. It's the ladies' game, and happy Sabbath to all and sundry out there. Again, Canada, they've been in the woods. Oh, this is a full toss, and it's been swung 1 bounce 4 over the deep mid-wicket area, and that's the first boundary of the day, and we're into double figures. It is 12 for no loss. So signs of aggression there. It was a loose delivery. It was full onto the bat, and here it is. She's making no mistake. She just swung it into no man's land. 1 bounce 4. Oh, that's a good comeback by the bowler. Again, a good delivery. She's covering up nicely. We're just into over number 2. And it's the end of over number 2. And it's 12 for no loss. So they're going to get a runner ball. This being just the second of 20. So the US team is on the screen for you. The playing 11 will be Chandrasekhar, Wendler, Bhaskar, Beckford, Farouk, Gunny, Itika, Samantha, Ramjit, Sahasha, and Willison. That's the playing 11 from the USA. This one is outside the off stump, left alone, taken there by the keeper. Kept a little low on the way through. So apparently taking the pace off the delivery. So there's a change in bowling from the southern end. They're playing here with soft hands and they're taking on the arm of the fielder, and she made good her ground. So once you make up your mind you're going to be running, you've just got to get the wheels on and get there. And they got there just in the nick of time, but a direct hit would have been interesting. Would have been very interesting. So Zia is the new bowler outside the off stump. She's playing a beautiful stroke, but there's coverage in the wide mid-off. As the throw comes in, there's an appeal, but the umpire, who's there in the best position, right and square, would have said not out. He comes up to do the repairs. So Zia yesterday would have bowled, from my understanding, from the northern end. And today she's coming from the southern end. And they did keep the... And this time it's in the air, one bounce to the fly slip. And the scampers through for a single. So good call there by the non-striker, as that ball was played behind the batter. And she would have realized that the ball was dying on the fielder. It was not going to be a catch. And being alert, she called for the single. That's good running. So the Canadians are doing well. Let me remind you again that they have not played a competitive match for the past 5 years. This time it was yes, no, yes, no. In the end, they averted the thought of a run. And as a matter of fact, seems as if a wicket has gone. So Wendler is the batter who is walking towards us. So it must have been... Yeah, we're trying to see if we can find out what's happening. We know the batter is walking towards us, so we'll see how out in a minute. So it was LBW. So it was a loud appeal. So Zia struck in her first over, the third of the match. So they thought of a single. So we are thinking that they were trying to get a single, trying to get the umpire to think about a single, but the umpire had other ideas. He said that one would have hit the wicket, and up goes the appeal, and up goes that dreaded finger. So in contrast to yesterday, when these two would have batted for a partnership of 67, when they overhauled the 66 made by Canada, we have got the first wicket falling on with the score on 15. This time it's a beautiful stroke outside the off stump. Just open the face of the batter, run it down past the deep backward point, and away she goes for a boundary. So good start here for the new batsman, who is Sharika. No, Sihara, I beg your pardon. So that's the end of a successful over, and I'm going to bring in my fellow commentator Eddie Edwards to tell you what has taken place in the proceedings so far.
Thank you very much, Ivor, and pleasant good morning to one and all, live at the Broward County Stadium here in the city of Lauderhill. You would have heard Ivor said that Ricky would have gone back to the pavilion leg before bowls here in a very first over from the commentary box end. And it is 19 for 1. And we're going to have the left arm picking up the attack from the northern end. That delivery is played into the short mid-off position. Fielder come across and threaten to throw the thumbs down. The batter had to get back in the crease in a scamper. So it is 19 for 1. USA batting. Shamshad bowling from the northern end. That delivery is played into the offside once more. So 2 dot deliveries, and that ball's a light gold dust. Shamshad left arm past the umpire just about now. This one is pulled away down towards backward of square. It will go into the boundary board just about now for 4. So that's a good looking shot there from Shanjika. Delivery outside the line of the leg stump. It was asking to be hit, and deservingly so. It was pulled away along the carpet out towards backward of square for 4. So it is 23 for 1. Chandrasekhar is on 9. Here's Shamsar to Shekhar, and Shekhar is pushing out into the offside. And the batswoman, or the batsman rather, can get no run. Just a choice of words, which one you ever prefer. Shamshad realizing that the field has to be reset. It's all set now. Here she comes past the umpire just about now. Ball to turns it into the short backward of square position. Return comes in. Bails are off. The appeal goes up, but the umpire at square leg has absolutely no interest in that. And see that the batter would have taken off for a single. Takes the score now to 24 for 1. So Chandrika is on 5, and Sahara Sasha is on 4. Well, correction there. And Saka is on 10, and Shah is on 4. Touches out towards the area. Fielded there by the wearing the number 27 shirt. The over comes to an end, and at the end of the over, at the end of it, USA 24 without loss. Ivor.
So Zia would have bowled 1 over for 7 runs. She has taken a wicket, the lone wicket, as a matter of fact. And Shamshad, she has bowled her over as well. So the skipper is coming for her second over. There's an allotment of 4 overs as per the playing conditions. It's a 20-20 over encounter. The first 6 overs are going to be the power play. So we're still in the power play. So the Canadians are keeping things in check. Quite a contrast from yesterday. Yesterday they would have been asked to bat first to set a target. And this time they would have won the toss today and they would have inserted the Americans. And now they has got to set a target. Score is on 24 for 1. So it was real jubilation, pandemonium when they would have gotten their first wicket, because they toiled all day yesterday for 10 overs and did not get a wicket. This time it's the bottom edge, as this one was outside the off stump. And again, she's taking pace off the delivery, which is a good thing. They would have learned from yesterday. Most of the runs yesterday came from in the cow corner area, so they would have learned their lesson. So although they are in the power play, it's just one fielder beyond the 30-yard circle. So they're on the attack. This time it's into the legs of the batter. Plays it to a short mid-wicket. No one. So they're keeping things quite nice and tidy here. We're still in the power play overs. The sun has again left us. There's some clouds hanging overhead, but there's no immediate threat of rain. This time, batter is playing and missing, and there's a loud appeal. And umpire is on move, square leg. He just goes in to do some repairs. And that umpire is umpire Samir Bandikar. And again, he was in the best position to give a not out. This time she's working off the legs. 1, that's all there'll be. So we're on to the quarter century, where it is 25 for 1. Again, this is an ICC approved women's qualifier, and we just have to give kudos to the officials who are here today. And after the end of this over, we'll give you the team, the playing 11. This time this one is right on off stump, and the batsman plays it into the leg and still can't score. So at the end of the over, the latest score here at the Broward County Stadium is 25 for 1. Eddie.
So not a bad over from Skipper Khan in operation from the commentary box or the southern end. So it is 25 for the loss of 1 wicket. So the USA squad reads as follows: Shihasher, Bashkar, Beckford, Farood, Grunny, Iftikhar, Ramatar, Ramjit, and Wallison. That's the USA team. And I'll let Ivor, after this delivery from the new bowler in the northern end.
Plays a puck back along the track on the offside. And no one. Again, keeping things nice and quiet. Chandrake has been there at the top of the innings. He's on 11. This time he's edging past the keeper. There's no first slip. He's running very close to the boundary. Will it get there? Yes, it does. So it was, perhaps the batter would say it was guided past the wicketkeeper because there was no first slip in place. But there's a boundary. And welcome boundary for the US of A. That takes the total now on to 29 for 1. It was not a bad looking shot, Eddie.
Not at all. It was guided down towards the vacant first slip position, and third man was coming across but couldn't really get to it in time to prevent it from going to the boundary. So that was a good looking shot.
So let's see the comeback delivery here from the bowler, Pereira. He batted yesterday, batted well. This time outside the off stump, playing a lovely shot into the offside. There's runs here for the batter as the cover point gives chase and send the throw back into the bowler, one bounce. Gets a round of applause there from the wicket keeper for a good throw, good effort, good cricket all around. That was a good looking shot, Eddie.
Yes, indeed, all along the ground, and certainly it's a lush out greener field, Ivor Henry, and the ball was just making its way to the boundary. Good bit of fielding there from the deep mid-wicket position.
Yes,
Or deep cover, sorry.
comes in and covers up the batsman as this one rolls into the offside and can't score. And yesterday, Eddie, was the home going for one of West Indies' greats, Simon Nurse, all of 85 years of age, and he was one of the better batters for West Indies. In my mind, in 66 series, he was the number 3 batter for the West Indies, right behind Gary Sobers and Kanai. As a matter of fact, over in England in 66, he was second in the scoring behind Sir Garfield Sobers. A dot goes into the scorer's book, so the score has not been advanced, but we're into 30s. We're on to 31. USA inserted by Canada. Now having to set a target, as opposed to yesterday when they chased 67 and they did it in half of the allotted overs. They did it in 10 overs. But today they are quietly strolling, trying to set a target. As we come to the end of over number 6, Eddie, the ladies' score here is 31 for 1. Chandrasekhar is on 17 and Shihasha is on 4. And we'll continue we'll give you the bowling figures. Khanna so far bowled 2 overs for 5 runs. And Pereira 2 overs for 14 runs. Zia 1 over, 1 wicket. She has the lone wicket for 7. And Shamshed 1 over for just 5 runs. So they're keeping it tidy. Outside the off stump, and is a lovely stroke. That was all placement and timing. Everything was just correct in that shot, Eddie. It was a full toss outside the off stump, and it just guided past the point, and there was no man on the deep point boundary that had 4 written all over it. 35 for 1.
And that's the mistake the captain is making, Ivor. The point region and gully region certainly has become the favorite of these batters. And if they don't take stands, Ivor, I know that we just, past the batting power play, so they should make the adjustment out there, though.
Yes, so Chandrasekhar would have followed in the footsteps of Shihasha when she got off the mark in the same position earlier. First delivery, as a matter of fact, that she faced, she guided. This time that one was dead on the stump, and the bowler thought she was in with a chance, as she was in all hopes of the batter missing that one, but the batter, she covers up nicely and places it to the onside. Yeah, I would advise her to probably play it straight back along the track, because that one was dead on the wicket, and the Canadians were in hope of getting wicket number 2. So 35 for 1. Outside the off stump, too wide to give the batter a fair chance of scoring from that delivery. So indeed, it is called wide by umpire Arnold Mandela. So 36 come to mind, Eddie, and every time I see 36 on the board, it reminds me of the great Robert Nesta Marley. He would have died at the tender age of 36. And here it is, another lovely looking push drive in the manner of a Charlie Davis from the West Indies, out of Trinidad and the West Indies. But there's coverage, like you said, Eddie. Now there is a cover sweeper. So good tactics there being used by the Canadians, in that the ones are coming in the offside easily. So now there is some coverage there. But, well, there's going to be an adjustment, as they're going to pull the cover sweeper up into just outside the 30-yard circle. And Ooh, where was she going? There was not a chance because there was a fielder right in the short extra cover, and she just pushed it to the left. And the Canadians seem to be a fit team. As a matter of fact, the Canadians would have made just one change to their lineup from yesterday. That one is down the leg side and is been called wide. So the score advanced to 37. So the batsman who would have been left out is Bada, and the incoming batsman would be Manila Patel. So she's in. That's a lone change for the Canadian team. So they're in hope of getting a win here today. So they've at least made one change. And again, we want to say, quick clubs, this one is outside the off stump again. The radar has gone off twice in this over, but the channel is right. It's outside the off stump. Most captain and coaches would say if you're going to bowl a wide, okay, let it be outside the off stump. We would rather you not bowl a wide, but she's going too wide of the mark, and the umpire would have said you've got to reload and come again. But the extras are building. We'll give you that in a minute. Ooh, this time Fielder in the short extra cover is feeling well and prevented a single. As that over comes to an end, it is 39 for 1. And Eddie, we were saying that the extras we're looking for the overall extras here. We might have to pick it up on the board. It's not being seen here, but we'll give you the batting team number 2, the 11. So extras are on 6. So the Canadian team, as we said, is Pereira, Martin, Azmat, Shamshed, Quasi. This is Michan Dani, Khan, Patel, that's the newcomer, Kotha, Zia, and Bay. Outside the off stump and too wide to give the batter a fair chance of scoring from it. So she's got to reload. What you would have missed there was a wide. So it's another bowling change. It's the first time we're seeing the left armer. She's bowling over the wicket. This is a better delivery, and there's going to be a quick single. A better throw would have been interesting for the Canadians. And I know the batter would have been running with her heart in her hand there because it was a quick single. It was pushed, played, and called by the striker, and the backing up was a little slow in getting off the mark, but got there safely in the end, and that's what really matters for the USA. 41 for 1. Eddie, we are here at the Broward County Stadium. It's an approved ICC venue, and we're in hopes of having the Indian taking on the West Indies here later this year. And as I was saying about Simon Nurse, yes, he was late to rest yesterday over there in Barbados. And he got out on a high when he would have finished his inning. His last inning was 258. So he went out with a bang. Maybe a lot of folks thought he should have gone on a little more because there was a lot of gas in the tank. But we're here live at the Central Boat. This one is in the air. He's not getting a good hold of it. They're thinking 2, but there's not going to be 2 because the fielder in the mid-on region ran back quickly, and she was not able to catch up with the catch, but it was not well timed. The idea was right from the USA in trying to go over the top, but the timing was not there. He was too much bottom hand. He had more height than distance, but it scampered through for a single. 42 it is. Outside the off stump. Again, she's coming forward and playing to the short extra cover, who picks up. And she seemed to be a specialist in that area because for both bowlers, fielder is feeling there. We'll give you her name in a minute as soon as we get the number from her jersey. Outside the off stump, and she's playing it, not timing it, just roll to the point region. Something called a 5 deliveries would have gone. The last delivery coming up. Eddie, we're looking to see if we can see the number on her jersey. We know she's sporting that towel around her neck. Remind me of the good old Calypsonian King short shirt. Come with a bar towel around your neck. And umpire signal dead ball. The bowler, well, she would have tied her shoelaces there, so making sure that everything has come into play. So Shamshad, it is. She's been very tidy. She's going for under 5 so far. And again, no run as this one goes to the point region. And a good flow coming there as we come to the end of that over. Shahara have bowled. Shamshad has bowled 2 overs for 9 runs, so she's going at an economy rate at 4.50. And Zia, a little more expensive, but she's got 1 wicket under her belt. She's gone for some 15 runs.
So the Canadians will be looking now to make some inroads into the USA batting lineup here, Ivor Henry. We're going to have a change of bowling from the southern end. And just as soon as the scoreboard puts that name up, certainly we'll be happy to give it to you. Certainly, it's a little bit difficult to pick up the numbers from our vantage point here. Like it's number 28.
So Machandani, if it's 28, it's Machandani.
So Machandani, the off spinner from the southern end. So delivery is a wide delivery, first delivery ever. Not a good way to start you over at all. Signal and call by the umpire. So one more to the extras. It takes your extras now to 8 and the total to 44 for 1. Machandani right arm. Look at past the umpire now. Full toss. The real outside the line of the off stump again, and it is signal and call wide. So 2 wide in succession. 49, 45 it is. So she's changing direction, however, she's going around the wicket. And let's see if the direction changes, that will bring any luck as far as the wides are concerned. Yes, it does, and just slapped away into deep cover. They're going for 1, and that's all it would be. As the return comes in, it's a round of applause. The Canadian team seems to be very happy, very jovial out in the middle there, Ivor Henry.
Yes, indeed. We have got Sugetha. She's on 18 from 30. And Sinhu is on 11 from 9. This one is being played down to the deep backward square leg. Fielder comes off the boundary, but the batters can only get 1. So I guess they're not risking the arm of the fielder out there. Although they're ladies, they're keeping things, they're keeping the Americans in check here today, Eddie. Quite a contrast to yesterday. Yesterday they would have rolled off 67 for no loss from 10 overs. And here we are into yes. Oh, and that's another wide outside the off stump. He's trying to bowl leg spinners. You can see the ball after it would have dropped, it moved away. It moved with the angle because she's coming around the wicket. So she's trying to get the ball above the eye line of the batter to make her think, to look up, and then the ball at least is dropping on the wicket. It's not going over the waist. So there it is outside the off stump. It's a good delivery. The batter having to reach for that one. It was within the area of play, and they can get no more than 1. So it's a pretty long over. We have had a few wide deliveries in this over so far.
And one of the things that you notice with Mashandani, she's coming from behind the umpire, so sort of a difficult for her, for the batter to pick up the bowler coming in from that direction there.
Well, she's pulling, and again there's coverage in the deep, and they can only get one, as that one went past the short mid-wicket, but there's coverage in the deep. So that is 50 for 1. 50 comes up on the board. We're into over number 9. So Sagatha Chandrasekhar is on 19 from 31 deliveries, and Sindhu Shihasha is on 12. She has faced only 10 deliveries, so her strike rate is 120 at this time. Outside the leg stump, and good bit of feeling there, the short backward square leg. In the meantime, the batters would have run through for a single, so that feeling would have been out of your view, but it was a good bit of feeling. It was a tumbling save. Gone past her, I think they would have probably scored 2 extra runs. So that's the end of over number 9. And the latest score here at the Broward County Stadium, it's 51 for 1.
So the Americans are not scoring very high either in terms of the run rate as we know it or as we see it on the board. It's 9 overs gone, and the Canadians, I'm pretty much sure they'll be extremely happy with their bowling performance so far. And as just saw the captain now going out towards the mid-wicket position or backward. Well, let's see. All sorts of direction, like a busy policewoman in any Caribbean city. All kinds of directions. Now she herself settling to the short mid-wicket position. Pedaling back. We're going to see a change of bowling from the northern end. This one is played away into deep cover. Gone for 1. Not even thinking about coming back for a second, because that's all it will be. And the score now goes up by 1 to what, some 52 for 1, and we're in over number 10. So if you're just joining us, if you're just coming into the grounds, we're here at the Broward County Stadium, the only ICC approved venue in North America. That one is played in towards the point region. Comes across and picks up and threatens to throw the stumps down at the non-strikers end, but she wasn't even thinking about moving out of her crease. So turns just about now. Merchant. Asmat is the bowler from the northern end. This delivery is pulled away out towards wide mid-wicket. They're gone for 1. Will they come back for a second? They're not going to take on the arm of the fielder out in the deep. So it wasn't a good throw by any stretch of the imagination, but that of course prevent them from getting 2. So the total goes up now to some 53 for the loss of 1 wicket. USA. It is Rihasha on 15 and Chandrasekhar. He's on 21 from some 34 deliveries. So Asmat from the northern end, that's the deliveries wide outside the line of the off stump. A little bit of delay there from the umpire, Ivor. Perhaps didn't want to call it, but in the end he was somewhat induced to call it, would you say?
Yes, he was coming back into the batsman, so he had a good look and said by the time he would have passed the batter, he would have passed outside the mark. So she's bowling off spinners. You can see the ball just coming into the batsman from outside the off stump. So it's a nice trajectory there from Amzat. She's in the first over. So although she would have bowled a wide, they've taken pace off of the deliveries, all of the bowlers so far. Here with his nice flighted delivery, stroked nicely out to the wide long off. Runs in, the batters ambles through for a single. So I think the Canadians would have done their homework. Let us see their turn at bat. If they can keep the Americans under 100, who knows? Yes, they would have only scored 66 from their 20 yesterday. So they're still within 10 within their capabilities of making 66. And as we come to the end of over number 10. So we're at the halfway mark, Eddie.
So with some 10 overs completed, USA on 56 for 1. Vihasha is on 16 and Shanshaka is on 22. It is certainly a cat and mouse game here, because what the bowlers are doing, Ivor, they're tossing the delivery up in the air and trying to induce or encourage the batters to go hard and high, but the batters are not falling for that sort of a trap.
No, not at all. But apart from that wide, it was just one wide in that over. So again, spin is in operation. This one was way outside the off stump, and for some strange reason, the batter was trying to pull it into the cow corner area. But there's no cover sweeper. I know you're not seeing it online, but there's coverage in the onside. There's a long on and a deep mid wicket, and again she's pulling across the line. And I don't know why would she be doing that, because they've played some lovely off-driven shots early in the inning, Eddie. There's not a cover sweeper. There's no deep backward point, but she's taking this from outside the off stump, both deliveries as a matter of fact, and trying to go into the onside. But like I said yesterday, that's where they scored most of their runs. So they, and I think this one is going to get very, very close to the boundary. Good bit of feeling down there. I hope that there's not an injury down there. The two fielders would have collided. It's off camera, but well, it's all high fives and hugged by those two fielders down in the deep. And the wicketkeeper giving a round of applause to say, good effort, guys. They chased it all the way. It had 4 written over it when they left the bat, Eddie. But a good chase from the short, fine leg and the deep mid wicket. They combined together and they prevented. Here it is again. They're pulling into the onside. So again, the Canadians would have worked out that the Americans like to go into the onside. So they've given the protection into the onside, and as you can see, they're taking the ball, the batters are taking the ball from outside the off stump and going into the onside. So yesterday most of their runs would have come in that area, and now they're making another adjustment. So the short backward square leg goes down about 10 meters inside the boundary, so they're reinforcing the onside. They would have worked out the Americas again outside the off stump and playing it back along the track. And I think the coach is going to have something to say. They have some work to do, because those balls could be slashed past the backward point or down to the deep extra cover boundary, because they're outside the off stump, as you can see on screen. But the horizontal bat is coming and pulling towards the onside. So that's something of note. That I think they this time it's in the air over the bowler's head, but there's going to be just one as the fielder comes off the long off boundary. Rifles in the throw to the bowler's end. As we come to the end of that over, that's over number 11. 61 for 1. And folks, again, this is the second of 3 ICC women's qualifying matches. And they're being played here at the Broward County Stadium in the city of Lauderhill, in the county of Broward, in the state of Florida, in the country of the United States of America.
I don't think that the great Shakespeare could have said it better than you, Ivor Henry. Just trying to figure out if you had to recite this last night and make sure that you come today and let the listeners know exactly what were on your mind as far as that little piece was concerned.
This time again, outside the off stump, well tossed up. And again, like you said, the Canadians would have done their homework from yesterday in the field. They would have allowed the Americans to chase 67 within 10 overs. And here it is then, 61 from 11 overs. So it's just about even par as yesterday. It's just around an over short, an over extra, and we'll see how many overs they would get to the 67 today. But we have to give it to the Canadians, but we're not going to say by any means that the Americans are taking the Canadians for granted. This time we see a shot into the offside, Eddie. She did not attempt to pull it into the onside, so that's good, and I'm sure it's pleasing to the coaches. Maybe a signal would have gone in, or some instructions, and say you can play the ball into the offside, and we would have just seen that. Comes up again outside the off stump, and it's fielded there by the cover fielder, who is beyond the 30-yard circle, so she's not sweeping on the boundary, and she's not up in the 30-yard circle. So they're giving a single in that area. But then you have the backward point, you have a short extra cover, and we're yet to give that name of that fielder who seems to be a specialist area. And this time she's playing one outside the off stump again, looking towards the corner to go gung-ho. The wicketkeeper whipped the bails off in a flash, and the peel went up, but the batter's foot was planted beyond the line, and like we said, the line belongs to the umpire, and foot was planted behind the line, Eddie, so no chance. And this time she tried to play outside the off stump again, missed again. The wicketkeeper looking sharp. She's sharp.
She's sharper than razor. Good glove work there. I wouldn't trust her either, not even with my eyes closed. Certainly not in the dark. So good bit of bowling there by the Canadians. And certainly they continue to keep the Americans on the wrap. We have seen the completion of some 12 overs, and it is some 63 runs on the board posted by the Americans for the loss of 1 wicket. Chandrasekhar is on 27. Rihasha is on 18. That is the latest score here at the Broward County Stadium in the city of Lauderhill. So we're going to see the continuation here, Ivor Henry, of Merchant Danny. And that delivery is pushed out into the cover region, and the batsman can get no runs. So Merchant Danny is bowling now some 3 overs on the trot. Certainly would have redeemed herself from her very first over. Delivery slapped away into cover, and again it cannot pass the cover fielder there. So 2 good deliveries, 2 dot deliveries. The Canadians are bowling extremely well. So Rihasha is on 18. Chandrasekhar is on 27. And we have Merchant Danny from the southern end. Toss up. This one is swinged away out towards wide mid-wicket, and it beats the fielder for a 4 into the boundary board there. Ivor very unlucky for the field, the Canadian field out in the deep. Kind of slipped and trying to regain her footing, and the ball eventually passed her and went into the boundary board for 4. So good looking shot.
Yes, so they've got to the 67, Eddie, and they would have gotten it in over number 13. So the Canadians would feel like they would have, this time outside the off stump. We've been asking for that all morning. You can get your runs in the offside. You do not have to be try to be pulling into the onside every time. There's no person on the onside, so 4 more outside the off stump. So we're on to 71 for 1. So that wicket would have fallen a long time ago, Eddie.
Certainly a long time. I can't even remember when it was actually fallen.
So Shihawa is on 18 and Chandrasekhar is on 27. Here it is again, trying to play outside the off stump. Look a little ungainly playing it out there, but she just needed to time it, get it between the point and the 45, the lady there in the 45. A short third man, fly slip if you want to think. This time she's going in the air. There's a person down there, but he's going to go just 1-2 bounces. Had the height, never had the distance. Good thing he didn't have the distance. But we have not seen a maximum in this inning so far. We have seen a few boundaries, and we would have seen some lovely ones as well, Eddie.
Yes, indeed. We have seen a couple of boundaries. We haven't seen the maximum, as you rightfully so mentioned, Ivor. It is 72 for 1. And the Canadians are moving very briskly on the field. They're looking businesslike. and the wicketkeeper is making no what I would call mistake behind the stumps. As I alluded to before in the previous over, she's a very slip wicketkeeper. I wouldn't trust her for anything. She's keeping right up onto the stumps now.
Yes, she's sharp. I like her glove work. This time, this one is going to the backward point region. The scampers through for single. That's a very busy area, so you tend to want to keep your better fielder in that area. The short backward square leg, the point region. They're always looking to run singles there, so you have a good arm because you just have to aim at one stump. This time he's going in the onside, in the air, but there's coverage down there. They're going to be getting two, which they run quite comfortably. So again, not getting the timing. The placement was right, and this time they played the proper shot, in which he was into the legs, and they cut it away. So 75 for 1. That takes Shihasha on to 28, and Chandrasekhar Chaditha is on 27. Ooh, there's no need for that throw at the non-striker's end because the batter was safely in, but nonetheless, another one to the score, 76 for 1. Again, this is the ICC qualifiers, women's. Yesterday, the United States would have taken care of business against Canada outside the off stump, coming back into the batter. And this time, he plays a stroke into the offside. Did not look to go into the onside, as again, there is coverage in the onside. The ambulance through for single. So 77 for 1. And if you're just joining us, earlier, the Canadians would have won the toss and elected to field. And there's a good throw coming in from the fielder, fielding at point, deep point. So 78 for 1. As I was saying yesterday, the USA would have won the first of 3 matches, today being the second. This time in the onside, and she's swinging well, getting a good hold of this. Goes down the boundary for 4. So that's a favorite spot, the onside. The USA, they favors the onside. You can tell from yesterday's inning and from today, they definitely favors the onside. The score here is 82 for 1. So there's still quite a few batters in the hut to come. We have not seen much of the Americans batted because only yesterday, only 2 batted all day, and today we have only seen 3 of their batters. Number 28. So Merchandani is gonna bowl her last over. She's bowled some 3 overs for 22 already. She's gone for over 7. Outside the off stump, and again she's swinging into the onside. But again, there's protection in the deep. They're thinking 2. And yes, they're running 2. It's gonna be touch and go, and it's given. There was hesitation from the batter when he got to the non-striker's end, and that quick delay would have caused her demise. So the second wicket would have fallen, and again, good work in the deep. It's the tall Canadian. I have to get her name. It was a good throw, 1 bounce, and again, Eddie, you just said that you must not trust the wicket keeper. Not only when she's keeping to the bowling for the throws coming in, because she whipped the bails off in a flash, and it was a sad way to see the wicket to have fallen. At some stage, it seemed as if that's the only way they would have seen that. And yesterday there was 3 runouts in the Canadian innings, so they would have get some sort of satisfaction by knowing that they would have run out one of their batters, one of the Americas, because they gave away 3 that way. So it's 83 for 2. Last wicket going via the run-out route. So Kama would have bowled, but the wicket does not go to her name. So Chandrasekhar has been run out, and she has gone for 32. She faced some 49 deliveries, and she would have hit 2 fours. We have yet to see a 6 hit in this inning, and she had a healthy strike rate of 65.31. So the new batter, well, yet to face. And she's pulling out the boom. She's sweeping early, doing some housework here, as this one goes very close to the boundary. This time it's going to be a safe 2, as the throw was a little off target. So again, runs into the onside. And if the chart were to tell us, we would have seen that most of the runs would have come into the onside. But we've seen some lovely off-driven strokes. So they do have the strokes in the onside, but it seems as if they favor the onside, outside the off stump. And that one is bouncing a little bit more than anticipated. And they played it into the offside, and we have a mid-off that comes into the field. No. This time she's pulling in the air past the short mid-wicket. But again, there's coverage, and a strong arm is coming in. The throw is coming into the bowler's end, but a little off the mark. And the batters were able to get the 2 runs. So 87 for 2. And the individual score of 87 in Australia is of concern to the batters. That is their unlucky number, 87, 13 away from 100. But the total is 87, so it's not any worries. No form of superstition for the Americas with the score on 87. It's a healthy 37, and they're looking good. It's a 2020 encounter. So Baska is the new batter, and she's done 4 already, having faced some 3 deliveries and now 4. So she's going at a runner ball. She's going better than a runner ball, as a matter of fact, because she now goes up to 5. So at the end of that over, it is 88 for 2.
So certainly the scoreboard continues to tick along. So with the arrival of Bhaskar Ivor Henry, who would have faced some 5 deliveries, some 6 deliveries rather, and score some 5 runs. And we have Srihasha, who's on 33 from some 27 deliveries, and the score is 82 after the Canadians would have won the toss and asked the Americans to bat. So with the loss of Chandrasekhar's wicket, Ivor, the run rate hasn't dropped much at all.
No, because Bhaskar is going at 5 for 5. She's going at exact 100 strike rate. And Srihasha, she's there on 33 from 27. So she's going at a strike rate of 122.22. So that was the end of a successful over in terms. Oh, this one would have been a shoestring catch, but it's going to run all the way to the boundary as another one swings into the favorite area of the Americas, down to the vacant mid-wicket area for yet another boundary.
So Bhaskar goes on to 9, and she has come to the party, and she not only comes to the party, but she comes with her dancing shoes on. She's making sure that every delivery that goes outside the leg stump, or has the belief that they're going down the leg side, she's going to go and go hard.
Yes, so she's 9 from 6, and already she's clocking at 150. So she's the number 4 batter. So, 3 and 4, normally known as your better batter. This time he's playing with soft hands around the corner, and good backing up there by Bhaskar. So Srihasha just turned this one around the corner, and the fielder was keeping company with the umpire. Had to run a long way in, about 25 yards or so, And in the meantime, the batters say we can trust our feet getting down to the both ends to safety. Although the wicketkeeper is not to be trusted, according to Eddie. She's sharp.
93 it is for 2. We're into what? The 16th over. 15.3 has completed, Ivor.
Yes, and anything over 100 might very well be scoreboard pressure. This time it's in the air. It's going out towards the deep mid wicket and it goes one bounce forward, I think. And the umpire is waiting for confirmation. We have not seen a maximum in this inning so far, and we're still not going to be seeing one because having received confirmation there from the fielder, so at least the umpire trusts the fielder. Did not ask for the third umpire, they asked the fielder, and in her honesty, she would have said it dropped within the ropes. So we are here at the Broward County Stadium. It's an approved ICC venue. Now they're making some adjustments here where they're putting the long on to a wide long on right smack in the cow corner area. This time she's pulling again and he's getting it just beyond the 30-yard circle, but the backward square leg runs to her right, picks up, rifles the throw to the keeper, and ambles through for a single. So Frihasha, she is on 37. Baskar is on 10. So Amzat, this time she's punching on the back foot and they're taking a quick single. They got there in the end. As you come to the end of that over, and at the end of that over, the 16th over, it is 98 for 2.
So certainly with some, they just added one there, so with one run away from the century mark, one would have thought that the Americans, after the introduction there, they would have put some metal or the pedal, their feet down on the gas a little bit. And certainly it is 99 for 2 for loss of some 2 wickets. And at this stage, I would like to get a prediction.
Well, like you said, they're putting the pedal to the metal. I think the happy hour is going to be starting anytime now. Once they would have, well, as a matter of fact, the score is 99 at the end of that over, not 98, 99. I would think after the 100 mark, they're going to try to really go for all of the marbles, go for glory. And my prediction, I think they're going to get anywhere close to 130, 135. I think they should be aiming for that. This time the batsman is punching off the back foot and is beating the short extra cover. And it's running to the left of the long off. And the ambles through for a relaxing 2. Yes, so 101 Dalmatian. This time she's stroking this one nicely, but can't get past the short mid-wicket. So with 100 on the board, let's hope it's not scoreboard pressure for the Canadians. They batted all of the 20 overs yesterday, so we know they're capable of batting out the 20 overs. This time they will have to just push on a little harder to get beyond the 66, which they would have made from their 20 yesterday. Outside the off stump, playing with soft hands. The striker wanted a single, but wisely sent back there by the non-striker, saying, no, 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 we will not flirt with danger. Especially with the wicketkeeper standing up, and Eddie would have said, do not trust the keeper, she's sharp. She does some good glove work. She's to be commended. Outside the off stump, and she's punching but can't get past backward point, and it was in the spot of bother in terms of run out, and I think she's gone.
Yes, she is.
So the previous delivery, the non-striker wisely sent back the batter, and this time she tried to run a non-existent run. And at times the coaches would have to consider this and to say, listen, when the batter is on the back foot, as she was punching into the offside, it's going to be harder for her to transfer her weight forward to get any quick single. So normally it may have been a run if she were playing off the front foot, touch and go. But because she was on the back foot playing, she was in no position. As a matter of fact, she did not even move because she was into her stroke. The cameraman would have got a good shot of her in the pose for the shot. But the result, a wicket is down by the run-out route. And again, we pray for the Canadians because yesterday they had three of their outs, of three of the six that went to the hut was by the run-out route. So far today, two of the Americas has gone via the run-out route.
So certainly in that context, you would say that the Canadians, along with the Americans, they enjoy running.
Well, they enjoy the running out.
Well, I left that blank there for you to fill the space in, Ivor. And certainly you did a good job.
So the batter is on the back foot, punching out to long off, who runs in about 45 yards and prevents the batters from even thinking about two. Let's hope that the bowler is not injured. She's walking a bit gingerly there.
You
Back
wouldn't
to
want the
mark.
captain to go down at this stage. So the new batter is Grunny. And she's on strike. Takes the guard from the umpire. It's 102 for 3. Ivor Henry would have predicted the score at the end of the 20 would be somewhere in the region of 120, 130.
Yes, but with a new batter, things can change and can change quickly. So I made that prediction bearing in mind that, you know, we had two set batters in. But now Gwani, who had just gone in, her faced just one delivery. She made sure that she didn't get her first ball ducked. She just played it back down the track. And now the two batters meet in the middle to work the magic, the strategies to say, well, we're winding down. Should we go all out? We have only lost some 3 wickets. So maybe, just maybe, we can take a few more chances. It's 102 for 3 in this, the second of 3 matches here in the ICC women's qualifiers.
Well, with some 17 overs gone and we're about to see the commencement of over number 18, I think that this would be a good time for the batters to go. And Bashkar, she's on 14 from 13 delivery, and we see the reintroduction of Pereira from the Northern and Ivor.
Yes, comes that bushy here flapping. This time the full toss, she's not timing it. Yes, she comes with that bushy here flapping. This time the full toss, she's not timing it as well as she would have liked. They're gonna thinking two, they're thinking two, but wisely set back there by the striker because there's no way.
And Bashkar is very quick between the wicket there, Ivor Henry. Just take a good look at her. Once she takes off, there's absolutely no looking back for her. She's going straight to the non-strikers end or the strikers end, whichever way that may be.
I like the approach of the Americans here where they would have taken pace off the ball. But the medium pacer has been back into the attack and nice stroke play out to the cover region but can't score. So the Canadians, they're going to want to finish on a high. They don't want the Americans to run away and to get into a boundary striking mode. They're doing well so far. And once again, let me remind you that they've been out of competitive cricket for the past 5 years. So when you look at what they're doing here against America, who has been, you know, consistently playing cricket, I think they're doing well for themselves. So it's a World Cup qualifier. So it's not an excuse, and you know there's no pity for the poor, but we just have to, you know, be fair and balanced outside the off stump, and he's punching off the back foot, and good backing up there by the cover fielder, as the extra cover fielder would have bubbled it, but it didn't go beyond the cover point fielder, who was backing up smartly. So good cricket. I'm sure the coach would be happy to see that, even though the ball was going straight to the extra cover fielder, who is the marshal in that area who is patrolling. Here she comes into play again, And she sends the throw back to the keeper. She trusts the keeper because there was no need to really rifle that throw, but I guess she's trained to just rifle that throw, get it back into the keeper as quick as possible. Just in case the batter was thinking of a run, let him know. Listen, I'm here. Don't take chances with my arm. Anyway, she comes in from the nothing and down the onside, and she's pulling out to deep mid wicket.
So the batsman went off for a quick single. So that brings up the end of over number 18. And after 18 overs, USA, after being inserted by the Canadians, take first strike. They are 105 for the loss of 3 wickets. Bhaskar is on 16. Rooney is on 1. That is the latest score here at the Broward County Stadium. So the Bhaskar is not out on 16 and Rooney is not out on 1. And the USA team read Chandrasekhar, Erica Rendler, Shirisha, Bhaskar, Granny, Beckford, Farouk, Iftikhar, Ramator, Ramjet, and Wallison.
This one is played back along the track on the onside, and they amble through for single. So 105. So the USA, they've not been scoring as I think that the captain and the coaches would have liked at this time, because they were just 1 wicket down, then 2, then 3 as the overs are winding down. But you have to give it to the Canadian. This time he's bowled them, cleaned them up. So the skipper struck gold, and you can see the jubilation.
Over number 19.2 Ivor. So 106 for 4, and certainly well out of the prediction mark or the prediction area that you would have predicted early on of 120, 130.
Yes, I'm saying I don't think they're going to get there, because yes, you could get 36 runs in an over, but we have not seen a maximum struck, so I think the chances of that are better chance of surviving in hell. So here again, the batsman was naughty, playing across the line. That one was dead on center, and she was looking onside.
And I think that you look at the situation as far as the overs are concerned, realizing that this is a penalty over, they would want to get on with it. They would want to get as much runs as they possibly can to give the Canadians something to really go at, to give their bowlers the opportunity to bowl out the Canadians.
Yes, well, I don't know about bowling out. Yesterday they would have got 6 wickets, but they kept them in check. They only scored some 66 runs yesterday. So the skipper, with the tails up, comes in. And again, this one was outside the off stump, and for maybe it's a commentator's curse, we would have seen the keeper would have probably missed one. She got an edge to that one. So it's a difficult chance. She gets off the mark immediately. So 107 for 4. This is the penultimate over. The skipper comes in, bowls right arm over, and this time it's in the air. There's someone getting under it, but it's fall just as she got there. She never got a chance to settle. So it's a good-looking over in which we would have seen a wicket bowled neck and crop. The very next delivery was an inside edge, went past the wicket keeper, and now this delivery was in the air. So giving her a chance, and this time she's going after it, and was outside the off stump, a swing and a miss, and again the batter was looking for that onside, and again there's protection in the onside. There's a deep mid wicket and a long off and a long on. So 2 men patrolling the onside, just one in the offside, which is a long off, and yet they're trying to go into the onside. Okay, this time he cleaned him up again. He's bowled him. So the skipper has been right on target, where she have delivered with no assistance from anyone else, no keeper, no fielder. She would have got 2 wickets in that over, and they came via the bowl and knock them over.
And certainly they were going after this skipper, Ivor Henry. They were targeting her and bowling at the dead end with some 1 over to go. The skipper realizing that she can come on and bowl the penalty over and would have picked up some 2 wickets in this over, Ivor Henry. So the total USA, after being asked to bat, is 108 for the loss of 5 wickets. Bashkar is on 18 and Ramator is on North. That's the latest score here at the Central Broward Regional Park or Broward County Stadium, whichever one you prefer. Ivor Henry.
Well, we're actually in the stadium. The park is, the whole of the park with a lot of activity. Oh, and this time that went back to the bowler, and the batter, the non-striker, seemed to have been out of her ground before she can really collect cleanly. She tried to avert a run out, and the ball eluded her grasp and enabled the Americans to get a single. So we're into the 20th over, final over coming up. They're going to try to see if they can get as many. And the Canadians are going to try to see if they can get another wicket or 2. Because every wicket is a dot that goes into the scorer's book. 109 for 5. So, have I ever been wrong? Yes. 130. I predicted they would have made that. And I'm going to look to see if they're going to even get to 115. So I'm going to be way off the mark. But nonetheless, the cricket is played between the flags, between the cones, between the ropes on the pitch. It's not played in the commentary box. You know how many men would have made runs under a tree while looking at the cricket match? Ooh, I would say it's going to be 1-1 to the total. So the Nelson is on the board, 1-1-1. Eddie stand up on 1 foot. Wendy Nelson is on the board, 1-1-1 for 5. So yesterday, America would not have lost a wicket. Today, they'll lost some 5. This one is in the air. There's a man down there. He's getting under it. Takes the catch. So wickets are falling in the 19th and now in the 20th over. And that one was going for glory. But there's a man stationed right there in the long on boundary. She didn't have to move an inch. Took it in the proved fashion, right in front of her, right in the chest. So the Nelson has bought a wicket. 1-1-1 for 6. I think the batter did not look at the scoreboard for the Nelson.
I don't think so either. She was looking more to go over the top, trying to get the first maximum, which we haven't seen all day and up to this present moment either. So 111 for the loss of some 6 wickets. Ramachar is on 1 and Bashkar is on 20 from some 20 deliveries. So she's going great gun-ho either from the very moment she came to the crease. She has been scoring runs up until then. So she's on strike now.
Yes, so again we're into the last over of this inning. This one is going out towards the mid-wicket area. They're thinking 2 and they're running 2. And they made good their grounds. There was hesitation in the middle, and they had got to run 2, Eddie. Even if a wicket would have fallen, it was worth the effort. It was the last delivery, so you have got to go. They should have probably even been running, trying to get 3. But nonetheless, the last delivery was 2, so that's the end of a successful over. The score, 113 for 6. Okay, we're about to bring in this scorecard, but it would have left us here. Yes, apparently he went to an early lunch, and we're going to be having an inning break here. So, folks, that's it from us here. 113 for 6. So, when we come back, the one chase would be 114 for victory required by the Canadians. Well, as we look at the pitch being prepared for the second inning in the one chase from the Canadian, having to chase 114 for victory, we're going to have with us here a little interview between Mr. Eric Pathen and yours truly, Ivor Henry. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. So, my understanding you're the project manager of US Cricket, and it's always good to know that cricket and USA have a connection. Let me remind you that the very first cricket match, international sporting match that would have played between Canada and the USA way back in 1844.
September 24th, 24th, I believe. Yes.
Yes, and on the 26th, Canada would have won by some 23 runs.
Yeah, no, this game has a tremendous history here in the United States. Like you said, the oldest international sporting event happened between the U.S. and Canada, where the New York Medical Center is right now in New York City, and we're returning this game to its roots here with this competition out here today.
Well, right in Manhattan. So, if for you folks, if you're listening up there in Manhattan, New York, you've made history, and it can only be won first. So, tell us your participation in this ICC Women's Tournament and your connection here today.
Yeah, so we are the new governing body for cricket in the United States. We were recently recognized as the ICC's 105th member to govern and develop cricket in the United States. And this competition here is a qualifier into two different global qualifiers. So if our ladies are successful here in this best-of-3 series against Canada, the winner will go on to participate in the T20 global qualifier, which will happen at the end of August and early September, as well as the 50-over global qualifier that will happen sometime in 2020. So it's an incredibly important event for both these teams because it opens up so much cricket for both teams to continue to play, both from a competition standpoint as well as a preparation and development standpoint.
Okay, so the loser here, what are the chances of playing further matches, and what would be happening to them?
Yeah, so if you lose this one, it's tough, honestly. You'll have competition within the Americas. You may be able to set up some bilateral cricket for countries that may be coming through the United States. But for women's cricket in the Americas, it's much less developed than men, and it is challenging to find competitive cricket. So that's why this event is so important for both teams, to really open up that pathway to play more cricket and develop your skills.
Okay, very well. Having said all that, where do we go from here for let's say, one of these teams? Well, one is going to be advancing. What is the next encounter for them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we hope that that's our group, the U.S. ladies that are in fairly good position here today. If we win this, we'll be playing in Scotland on August 31st through September 7th, and we'll spend the next several months just preparing for that competition. That's a qualifier directly into a World Cup. So the teams that are successful there in Scotland will move directly into a World Cup. So all the teams will be preparing to the best of their ability and will show up hopefully to earn a spot in that World Cup.
And the next Women's World Cup would be taking place when?
That's a good question. I think it's 2022, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so don't quote me on that.
Okay, so you're taking it one step at a time.
One step at a time, yeah. We've been focused on preparing our team for this. We've got a new coach in Julia Price who's been great for our team, has really helped develop these girls and develop the skills that they already had. They came in with a great skill base, but Julia Price has pushed them and helped them grow those skills even more, and we're seeing that in the way they've played all week. They had a great 4 games as a warm-up tour here, and now with their first game yesterday against Canada, chasing them down in 10 overs, and I think they've put up a very respectable total here today to defend.
Yes, indeed. What are the chances of these ladies going pro?
Yeah, that's, there's obviously a few leagues around the world that are now having the Women's Big Bash, for example, where women are playing at a professional level. We don't have that infrastructure yet in the U.S. We don't have that infrastructure yet on the men's side either. So it's, I guess, unlikely in the United States at least, but if they develop their skills to a high enough level and they continue to grow and develop as cricketers, there's no reason why one of these ladies can't be playing in the Women's Big Bash or, in some of the fixtures that they've got down in the West Indies.
Okay, folks, you're listening to Mr. Eric Parthen. That's the project manager from the USA Cricket, and it's ICC affiliated. Just wanted to know that it's official. So pray for the USA and for the US team. I'm going to be a bit biased here. I hope you can understand that. And I say that just because they would have won the first match yesterday, and they're in a very good position. At 114, they would have had they would have given the Canadians to get past them to even the series 1-1. But may cricket win in America.
Yeah, this sport has so much potential in the U.S., and as you talked about, there's an incredible history here that goes back some 300 years. We need to build on that history and create more opportunities for players. We're fortunate that we've got Lisa Ramjet, who you would have seen yesterday, that picked up our first wicket, a 14-year-old out of Maryland. There's plenty of other talented girls out there that are inspired by the play of these women on the field, and Lisa's just one of those. And it's on us as USA Cricket to develop the pathways and the structures and the programs that are going to help grow and develop the sport in the United States. And there's an incredibly passionate following already. We've got data that shows there's upwards of 35 million cricket fans in the U.S. We've got to find a way to develop the sport and provide more opportunities for kids to play at an entry level, for people to, all the way up to professional leagues, as you talked about. We've got to provide that infrastructure and growth and development.
So between now and the next stage, are you going to be organizing matches? Let's say the USA, they were to advance, like say a team from Trinidad, Jamaica, or any other women league in the meantime, maybe even Canada again?
No, it's a great question. Fortunately, we've got a really good relationship with Cricket West Indies and Johnny Grave, their CEO. So we've always been talking with him about development opportunities at every level. That's the U19s, the women, the men. So that will be a conversation that we'll have. But we need to get these ladies more competitive cricket. So yes, we will move immediately after, if we're successful here, to plan for what's it going to take, and that'll include training together. That'll include competition. One disadvantage that we have, maybe even a disadvantage where Canada is, where our team is very decentralized, where most of Canada has their cricket base in Toronto. These girls are from all over the country, from New York to California and everywhere in between. So we don't have many opportunities to train together and to work together as a team. So for us to have those opportunities, we usually have to travel somewhere, whether they travel to a camp in the U.S. or they travel overseas and play matches down in the West Indies or somewhere else. We will absolutely do everything we can to put these ladies in a position to be successful.
Very well. Well, any parting word? Because I'm going to wish you all the best in your endeavor and to push women's cricket forward, as we're going to be preparing to have a run chase here by the Canadians.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this chase. Our group is confident. They're strong. They're unified. I'm confident that they will defend this 113 runs. But cricket's a funny game. But it's a great opportunity. No matter how this tournament works out for either country, it's a great opportunity for both countries to come out and play competitive cricket, to play in a great venue like we've got here in Broward County, to play against other very competitive, strong women. So it's a wonderful event that's been organized by the ICC, and we're just certainly pleased to be here and excited for what the next step is should we be successful in this event.
Eric Pathan, Project Manager, USA Cricket. Cricket Clubs want to thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the coverage that Cricket Clubs has here for this great game out before us. They're a wonderful partner for USA Cricket, and we're just glad they're here. And we're thankful to all those folks that are out there following. I looked a little while ago, and we had more than 1,000 people that were following this coverage. We appreciate the passion. I know these ladies feel the support on social media. They feel the support of the fans cheering at home. So thanks to Cricket Clubs and all you back at home watching and following this team. They deserve your support. They're excited for that support, and they want to do everything they can to make you all proud in their performance.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've had it. The voice of Mr. Eric Pathan, the Project Manager of the US Cricket. We want to wish him all the very best in the future.
Test 1 2 3. Test mic 1 2 3.
The one chase is on, and want to welcome you back to the Broward County Stadium, and where we're going to be having the one chase of 114 for victory by the Canadians. So the US sent into bat would have scored 113. This time he's playing in the air but away from the mid-on fielder, and sends a direct throw into the non-striker's end. So they're underway, 1 for no loss. So Patel.
So, after what one would say, just a little canter there, Ira Henry, 1 without loss. And certainly with the run chase on, it's just left to be seen who's going to come out victorious.
This one is down the leg side, and they're getting wides, as in which they would have run through. So 2 more to the total, 3 for no loss. So the USA are going to have to be mindful of the extras. They can be plentiful, and they can make a worthwhile contribution. So they're going to have to keep it in check. This time is a nice stroke there by the batter, playing it out to cover sweeper. So already the US has 2 men out of the circle. One is in the deep mid-wicket region, and one is in the sweeper cover region. And that one was sweetly timed, sweetly played by the batter. But they just got 1 added to the total, 4 for no loss. This time playing it again, but there's an extra cover fielder who fields, and no run. So just like the Canadians, they're taking pace off the delivery. They're starting off here with the slower bowlers. This time again driving, but can't pass. Extra cover. A little sign of aggression there, as the backlift was a bit high. So it's not going to be easy going, I can tell you. So they've got to make use of the power play. This time, this one is a full toss outside the off stump. And here comes the first boundary of the Canadian run chase, as this one goes down to deep backward point and into the boundary. That's 4, Eddie.
And certainly that was a good shot outside the line of the off stump. It was tossed up there, Ivor. It was asked for hitting, and certainly she obliged the bowler by doing so. 8 it is without loss. Patel is on 2. Pereira is on 4. The total here at the Broward County Stadium, Canada chasing 117, 114 for victory. There are 8 without loss. And we have just seen the completion of over number 1.
There's a good start here by the Canadians, 8 for no loss. And 2 batters, Pereira is on 4, Patel is on 2. So Ramjet, a bit expensive in contrast to what would have transpired. I think the most expensive bowler would have gone for some 7 runs. Oh, one this time is swinging right across this one, and must have been going down leg, as the umpire is not interested in that appeal. But a good start.
Some aggressive shot in the early over there, Ivor Henry. And certainly would want to continue along that route. That delivery was choked up towards the short mid-off position. And the batters can get no run.
Yes, again, the sun is out in all its glory It's sunny South Florida, as we have come to accustom hearing sunny South Florida. And for all of the first-time visitors, we want to welcome you to South Florida. And if you're a returning visitor, again, we want to welcome you. Outside the off stump, opening the face of the bat, but can't get it past the man in the short third man position. It says it's the ICC Women's Tournament, Eddie. The winner of this would advance, and they're trying to get to the World Cup stage. And as you would have heard in the interview by Mr. Eric Pathan, he's the project manager for USA Cricket, told us the winner of this tournament would probably be going off to Scotland to play in a tournament there and trying to advance into the World Cup stage.
And we're seeing the West Indies and Bangladesh and Ireland played a Tri-Nation Series there a couple of days ago, which ended yesterday, which Bangladesh won that final game either by the DL Duckworth Lewis rules.
Yes, so that's the end of over number 2. And Eddie, I think that's a mid.
Well, according to the score on the scoreboard, it is 8 still without loss. And the USA chasing 114 for victory. And they have decided to open with Patel and Pereira. So it's going to be Farouk who's going to pick up the attack from the
So that's Beckford who was bowled the second over. And it's a maiden. So she bowled a maiden over. Yes. So now we have a changing bowling from this end. Yes, and so 7 dots in a row.
Americans trying to keep it as tight as they possibly can. They want to face the avenue of defeat.
Yes, so we would have seen a good display from the USA yesterday when they would have chased 67 in 10 overs. Today, they got to 113 for 6. This one was played back along the onside. It was a bit aerial, but away from the bowler.
Said that the meeting last night with the USA team certainly came back today and follow instructions that was given by management and coaches alike.
Yes, so we see our score. Mr. Linton in the air, but away from the extra cover fielder. Some anxious moment there for the batter.
And certainly we have seen some good bowling and some good feeling from the Canadians and now the Americans. So it seems like the training been put on display here at the Broward County Stadium. This one is played away into deep cover, but cannot prevent the batsman from getting a single. So it is 11 for the without loss. Canada chasing 114 for victory, with some 103 runs away from that feat. Farouk wearing the number 29 jersey in operation from the southern end. Here is now. It's a no ball. So again, we have seen the first of its kind here in this match so far. The first no ball, and it's a free hit. So anything can happen here and then.
Yes, he's guilty of overstepping, and umpire would have called and signaled.
So it all continues out in the middle. The Canadians are chasing, and they're chasing well. We're into the third over. 13 runs have been scored thus far. They're chasing 114 for victory. Farouk is in operation from the southern and Ivor Henry.
Yes, oh, it's a lovely ball, and there was a check stroke there. It was touch and go, but in the end made good to the end, and the end of over number 3, it's 14 for no loss in a one chase of 114.
So it is early days yet, and you can say now they're pretty much on par thus far. Beckford, that delivery is played just over the hand of the fielder there at mid wicket, and they take a short single. So goes up now. Remember that name too well when the USA played the Canadians at Brian Piccolo Park a couple of years ago.
Yes, well, we have wicket number 1 for the Canadians, would have gone down at 15 for 1. And what we'll be doing here now, in between deliveries, we're going to be having Zubin Sakawi. He's the development officer of the ICC Americas, and he's no stranger to us here, I can tell you. And Eddie would have just reminded me here of what would have transpired back at Brian Piccolo. So welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Yes, so we know you're on a mission here in terms of ICC trying to help America and cricket here in the US of A. How is it going so far?
Pretty good, I'd say. I don't know if it's entirely my doing. Clearly not, but yeah, it's nice to see the U.S. get ODI status and the women playing well and doing well. There's been a lot of good things that have happened in the last few years in terms of the infrastructure and things like that. So yeah, I think it's all panning out. I think their performance in Namibia a couple months ago for the men's team was fantastic. And then the lead up to that, the preparation has been really good. So yeah, all the best to them. I think there's an exciting time for the region and USA in general. So great opportunity for them.
Well, like I say, you don't want to take all of the credit, but quite
No, it's not
rightfully
my
so.
credit.
So you're part of the whole.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. It's like the body, you have the eyes, the hands, the feet, the clock, whatever. But in the end, we want to know that cricket is the winner. And
Absolutely.
you quite rightly said the senior men have now advanced to ODI status. That means we will be having probably a few more matches right here at this ICC approved venue. How is that going? What part would you play with that? Or who do you know have a part to play with organizing matches here? Let's say between the USA and West Indies, which is our neighbors.
Yeah, I mean this is a venue that's certainly on the radar of hosting matches. It's a beautiful setting. It already has hosted some internationals before in the CPL. It's certainly going to be used now or it's one of the grounds that will potentially be used for their ODI bilaterals over the course of the 2.5 years. But you know, just in general, the ground is fantastic, and the people around, and what a venue to have down here. And the weather's been fantastic. Rough few days in the beginning, but this tournament's turned out really well.
Yes, indeed. Well, you quite rightfully said that. We have small problem with the hurricane. That starts on June 1st. But we've been lucky so far. We've been dodging hurricanes and all the good stuff. But overall, I think in terms of sunshine, in terms of cricketing flavor, we have an abundance of Asian folks here, Caribbean folks here. So we just need to get people into the stadium. So in terms of advertisement, which part and how much of a part that you can play in terms of advertising, in terms of the major TV stations and radio stations, because we need to get it out there, the CNNs and the MSNBCs and stuff, and get these cricketing in the news. For instance, a match like this should be someplace out in the sports on one of the major stations.
Yeah, I mean it's I think it's a collective it's a collective process with ICC and also the local membership. Just trying to get as much media coverage as we can. Hosting and getting things on regular television is a bit tough at times, depending on the standard of the matches and things like that. But I think any exposure, we're streaming this game live, which has been fantastic. USA Cricket has provided that with cricket clubs, so we're getting good viewership, and it's a step in the right direction. A few years ago we wouldn't have any of this. We struggled to have ball by ball coverage. Now we're getting games. Streamed quite a lot. So to get it in the mainstream, it'll take a bit of time. But there's some with this ODI status that have come through, and the amount of matches that they're going to be playing. They're guaranteed 36 matches over the course of a couple of years, or just over 2.5 years. Who knows where that takes us?
Okay. In the meantime, the Canadians would have lost their second wicket, so it's 15 for 2, and we're into over number 5. Remember the one chase, it's 114. They need to get to even this series. This is a free match encounter. Yesterday, the USA would have won. They scored some 67 runs from 10 overs, chasing 66. And today, they would have batted first. They would have made 113 for 6. And now they're doing all their work to defend the 113. So that's a wide down the leg side, and we'll get back here to Mr. Zubin Sukari. America is built on fast food and fast everything. So I think it is ideal for the 2020 version. But now some folks are trying to get into the 1010 version. Is there any room for the 1010 on your radar, or we
I don't know if there's an international version of 1010, but there's certainly a few private type of T10 tournaments cropping up, probably even a T5. England is trying out this new 100-ball version of cricket. Hey, as long as they're playing cricket is fine with me, and I know struggles to get timing for even 20 over cricket, which is essentially the shortest version of the game that we have. But if 10 overs is what people are doing and getting people out and playing some form of cricket, I'm all supportive of it. So even if it's a 3 over game or a 7 ball over, a 2 ball over, whatever you want to call it, get out there and play some cricket. That's fine with me.
Okay, we know ICC is the governing body. Are you encouraging outside sponsorship to help the US cricket in any way?
I think we encourage in the sense that we definitely want. I think it's imperative that all the members try to be self-sufficient. ICC is there for support and resources, absolutely, but I think being self-sufficient and having sponsorship, having government support, whether we're at the table discussing that and helping them get that, I think that's where we stand. Every sport needs funding. Whether it initially comes from ICC, but it also, I think it's imperative that they look beyond that. If you want to run a sport in a country such as the U.S., you're going to need more than what's provided if you want to really build a game globally. And I think that is in the works. That is in the works, and they are doing the right things. USA Cricket's got a good strategic plan and some good people there now. So I think a lot of encouraging things are happening.
Very good. So in terms of the Americas controlling the cricket itself, in terms of getting umpires up to speed, getting maybe scorers up to speed, venues maybe other than this, is ICC going to be helping in that regard, or are they just encouraging the locals to get perhaps another venue?
Is operation. So there's been a lot of emphasis, things that are native to the U.S. market and the U.S. cricketing community. So we work alongside them, and we'll give them as much help as we possibly can. But they are doing some good stuff, so
okay.
It'll happen.
It was a good reason for me to ask the question, because America was playing cricket and still playing cricket. We started cricket against USA in 1844.
I know, against my home country.
There you go.
Oldest sporting event, oldest sporting competition between two countries.
Exactly, in the world.
Ever, yeah. 1844, St. George's, I think.
Cricket is number 2 followed sport in the world. So the reason why I asked about that is because we know the ICC had to step in to pretty much revive and rebirth the cricket in America, because it was starting around, and I permit me to say, politics or what have you. And it was a breath of fresh air when we can have the governing body come in to say, listen here, this is where we want cricket to be. We want it to go this way. And they would have laid down the ground rules. So that's the reason why I would have asked concerning, umpiring, because I know you have cricket in America, in New York, Atlanta, California, Texas here. So I would like to know at some stage, ICC would come in and put everybody under an umbrella, like they would have done now for the USA, for the cricket itself, to make sure that the cricket continues. It's just not getting the ODI status, and then you have some mediocre umpires down here giving guys making 300 runs, and when they get on the big stage, they find that the same shots they were playing or the same wickets they were getting, now it's a horse of a different color. So that's why
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that, and I think the involvement from us is somewhat limited, and it should be to some extent. We don't want to get too involved in local domestic cricket and how it functions. I think the what had happened previously with the old board and going, that's slightly different. I think there is some structure and some stability now in the organization, but it will take time for them to develop the competition structure properly, and the umpiring and the scoring and things of that, and getting everybody up to speed. But they are doing that, and it is something that they are looking to do. So our involvement isn't going to be massive. It's just about supporting things that are moving in a good direction, and they are moving in a good direction. So I think it's just being there and being and offering that support to them.
Okay, well, folks on screen, you're looking at the score. 25 for 2 in a run chase of 114. Canada, having won the toss this morning, inserted the USA into bat, and Pereira is on 10 and Merchandani is on 5. So we are in conversation with Zubin Sakari, and he's the development officer for the ICC Americas. We're having a brief conversation here as we look at the last delivery in the power play, which is a full toss driven out into the offside. A dot goes into the scorer's book. And we're going to pretty much wrap this up just about now. So your parting words.
No, I mean, I think we've had a couple of good days here in the pre-tour, and we had a few teams that came through. Trinidad and Tobago, a young Trinidad and Tobago team, and an ICC Americas kind of a development 11 team, which was made up of girls that are outside the Canada USA to give Canada USA a bit of practice and that. So we're certainly looking to prioritize women's cricket in the region and get more opportunities for them going forward. But just to see them out here and the passion that they have and the standard of cricket that both teams are playing, I think it's we're moving in the right direction. And if there's anything that we are doing is to obviously encourage that type of involvement and getting more people playing the game. And I'd love to see in the next 5-10 years a really competitive region of 2 or 3 teams playing on the world stage consistently. So I think I'm pleased and been very happy with everybody that's helped, and to have these streaming games live and you guys doing commentary, I think that's a good step in the right direction. So kudos to the U.S. cricket community and the people that are involved.
Yes, well, on behalf of Quick Clubs, I'd like to say thank you, and thank you for stopping by, and we're going to wish you all the best in your endeavor.
Thank you very much. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
So that was Zubin Zakari, interviewed there by Ivor Henry, my fellow commentator. Canada now chasing 114 for victory. Ivor Henry there, some 26 for the loss of 2 wickets. Pereira is on 7. Merchandani is on 7. the latest score here at the Broward County Stadium. Ivor.
Yes, indeed, and Eddie, quite interesting. We would have had those two conversations, one with Mr. Eric Pathen, he's project manager for U.S. Cricket, and followed by Mr. Zubin Zakari. And they would have told us some interesting things there in hopes of the future when it comes to cricket here in America. And it sounds all good. But we're into the 30s now, Eddie, in the 7th over of this one chase. Remember, the winner of this would go on and try to get into the World Cup. So these are qualifying matches. So both teams are vying to get over the hump. But again, I'm going to, not making excuses, I'm going to say reality. The Canadian team has not played cricket for competitive cricket for the past 5 years. So I think they're doing very well for themselves. They're keeping the USA thinking all along. It's not like a runaway train. Yesterday we would have seen something of that sort when they would have got to 67 of just 10 overs. Today they had to work for their runs, and my prediction, or how wrong I was, I thought they would have made maybe upward of 130 the way they were going at one point. But they were kept to a minimum of 113. I said minimum because I really thought they would have gotten at least, like I said before, 130 or thereabout. So Canada, on the whole, we have to give them all the blessings and everything to say USA have been playing cricket, although as a team, I think the USA, they're not stationed in any one area per se. So we would have heard that in the interview. They're coming from California, New York, Texas, Atlanta, all over. So they themselves are pretty much strange when it comes to playing as a team. But I'm still going to say advantage USA, because at least they would have played some competitive matches. I remember they would have played against Pakistan right here at some stage.
And certainly, Ivor, it's sort of difficult to bring all these ladies together in one camp from so many different parts of the continental USA. But certainly they're here, and they're making their presence felt.
Yes, so this one, that ball made a bit of a height there, and we still have to give it to the curators here. They've been preparing some wonderful wickets, I'd say over the past maybe year and a half or so. I remember at one stage, Eddie, wickets used to be rolling. Ball used to be rolling here.
Balls used to be hanging low.
Yes, they used to be hanging low. That is to tell you the truth. This time it's in the air and it's going to be taken. So wicket number 3 would have fallen, and it's a soft dismissal in the end. She was trying to get after the bowler. It came off the outer portion of the bat and was caught in the gully region. And that batter is Mutindani, I think. She would have gone for 12. Pereira is still there on 12. Pereira would have made some runs yesterday. I think she got into the 20s. Trying to look for my notes, but I think Pereira, she batted and got some 20-odd runs yesterday.
So with the loss of that wicket, total is 32 for 3. We have seen some 7.2 overs gone, and Ivor is getting pretty close for prediction. I know early on you would have predicted that the Americans would have get somewhere in the region of 120, 130, but they fell some 16 runs short. So certainly the Canadians now seems like they want to get into the runaway chain. They're doing extremely well. The run rate at this stage, Ivor, the current run rate is 4.4, and the required run rate is some 6.5. So they're slightly below the required run rate, and perhaps that's why Merchant Danny would have gone at such a very short innings, would have contributed some 12 runs. She was perhaps, one would have said, an ill-advised shot.
No, I think
Well,
Merchandani is the batter. She's
well,
still in.
it would have been Pereira then.
Yeah, Pereira
Sorry for the
would
mix-up.
have departed, yes.
So the new batter is Zaya, and that's a wide delivery, signal and call wide by the umpire. So total goes up now to some 33. All threes on the board, Ivor.
And all threes remind you of the great
Henry
left-hander
Christopher Gale.
hard-hitting Christopher Henry Gale. His top score in first-class cricket, test match to be specific, 333. So he would have made 2 triple centuries, as a matter of fact. So not many people, a lot of greats have not even gotten 1 triple century. Christopher Henry Gale would have gotten 2 of them.
So that was a good delivery by Iftikhar outside the line of the off stump. And Zaya had to pull away just a little bit. Had no other choice. Just paddle sweeping down towards the backward square position. Pulls the fielder some 3/4 away off the boundary, but cannot prevent the single. So Zaya goes up. Score goes up by 134. Zaya's on 1. Merchandani's on 12. Ivor Henry still waiting your prediction.
Well, I can tell you 81 is needed from 12.1 overs, and the required run rate is not difficult. It's just over 6 runs and over, and this time he's knocked him over. He's bowled him.
Looking
So
to
it's a swing and a miss. He swung right across that one. That one was dead on the wicket, and the batter, ill-advised, rather than playing straight down the wicket, would have played right across it and was bowled a neck and crop. 34 for the loss of 4 wickets.
And that is what you call scoreboard pressure, Ivor, because they find themselves behind the run rate. The current run rate is 4.3. The required run rate has gone up now to some 6.7. And that's what can happen when your run rate falls below par and you're trying to get runs just about with every delivery. If the car bowling straight onto the stumps, and Zaya was looking to put it down towards the back of the square, didn't make contact, and it went through and just dislodged the bail. So 34 now for 4, and Canada, Ivor Henry, chasing 114 for victory. They are in deep trouble. 34 for 4.
Yes, well, 2 wickets from the last 7 deliveries, and if it keeps going this way, I think they'll be bowled out within the 20 overs. Yesterday, they would have only lost some 6 wickets. Today, we have witnessed some 4 wickets will have fallen, and we are just into over number 9. So 8 would have gone. This is over number 9. So Zia is still there. So we have 2 relatively new batters. I would hope to say fresh legs for Canada, that they can go scampering, trying to get some singles. 6 runs and over, you can just hit, there we go. And you can see Zia trying to just turn it around the corner to get a single. Singles can get you on par. You don't have to go gung-ho, as we would have seen in the last dismissal, when she would have tried to tug one from off of the stumps and was bowled neck and crop. So I'm sure the coach is going to send out instructions and said you can work the ball around and you can try to get as close as possible before you can go for the big shots. But here was one being played down to the deep backward square leg, as that one was going down the leg side, and the batter just swiveled and played it. So Zia sporting the number 27 on her back. She's just above the stump height, Eddie, and like we said yesterday, we would have seen a 14-year-old would have played. We would have heard that in the interview, and it was all jubilation when she would have gotten her first wicket.
I'm sure it was indeed. So the captain can faces now. So the Canadians find themselves even into deeper trouble. 35 for 4. Can is the striker. She's on no. Zare is on 2. Latest score here at the Central Broward Regional Park, or Broward County Stadium. Over Henry.
Yes, I was trying to bring up Can's bowling, because she got 2 wickets in and over when she would have bowl the batter's neck and crop. But
That
she's
was
now
in
been
the
asked to wheel the willow and to get a team over the top. Like we said, it's the best of three would be advancing here. United States of America would have won the first match yesterday, and they're trying their best to make it 2-zip, and that would, put them in a pretty good position. But the Canadians, they would have other ideas. They're not going to give up. They're not going to give in. You've got to work for your victory. They're not going to give it on a platter and say, here it is, you can have it. As you can see, it's a bit windy, although the sun is out. You can look at the umpire shirt. It's just fluttering in the breeze. And this time again, playing with soft hands outside the off stump, but can't score. The batter thought of a single, but skipper Can is saying, no, that's a non-existent run. Yesterday we had 3 batters run out. We're not going to follow in that same fashion. We should have learned our lesson from yesterday. Let us see Can's bowling figure, because she's asked to do the batting, to do some batting here. So Can would have bowled some 4 overs, 11 runs, 2 wickets. And now she's at the wicket, and she's going to try to do yeoman service for the Canadian team.
So Iftikhar is going to continue from the Northern and Ivor. 36 for 4. Canada chasing 114 for victory.
Edged and gone past the wicketkeeper. There's no slip, but there's a good chase there all the way down to the boundary, just beneath us here, about 5 meters inside the boundary. Picked it up now, and the batters would have run 2 runs in the meantime. So we've gone past Bob Marley's age, Eddie. We were just on 36. That was short-lived, and on to 38 now for the loss of some 4 wickets.
So the Canadians are going. Little by little, they're motoring on. The captain to face Iftikhar from the northern end. Debris outside the line of the off stump. Can had a swipe of it at it, missed it out completely. And there was a little half stifle appeal. And she gets a round of applause from quite a few players. Quite a few members of the team. And that one is swung away down towards the mid-wicket boundary and into the boundary board for 4. So a welcome 4, Ivor Henry.
Yes, indeed. That was asking to be hit. It was short, and it was going down leg, and there's no deep mid-wicket. She would have got past the short mid-wicket, and the field on the deep back was square. They had no chance of cutting off that. It was 4 from the time he left the bat. As a matter of fact, there's a mid-wicket, but she placed it very nicely.
And it's a free hit. It was a no ball as well. Perhaps to the surprise of Iftikhar. So 1 more to the total. Say 44 for the loss of 4. All 4s on the board, Ivor. The partnership has yielded thus far some 10 runs. And the current run rate is some 4.6.
Well, it was good delivery there. It was a free hit, and they could only get 1 from it. This is a full toss, and Zia is pulling it down to the mid-wicket, and it goes beyond the fielder, who sprawled and made a valiant effort to stop it and to save the boundary, but it went beneath her grasp, and yet another boundary in this over. It was a full toss, and she pulled out the broom and went to sweeping, doing some house cleaning there, Eddie.
Yes, indeed, and it's indicative because today is Saturday, and a lot of people does house cleaning jobs on Saturdays, on the weekends, and it is certainly Zia's day. She continues to be the hot hand for the Canadian team, continue to be the aggressor, Ivor Henry.
Yeah, but I thought that you would have gone to the market on a Saturday, but Eddie, you said doing the chores. This time she's swatting this one out to the long on position as the throw comes in, a good one. And Zia would give thumbs up to her skipper to say, well done. But the Canadians are making a match of this. And like we said, the boundaries will come. They're just around the 50 mark. It's on 49. They still need another 65, and we still have another 10 overs to go. Yesterday we would have seen 67 runs made by the USA from 10 overs. Ooh, this one was outside the off stump. We have seen some good wicket keeping in this game so far, Eddie.
Yes, indeed. And both wicket keepers looking extremely well, particularly the wicket keeper from Canada, who pretty much, Ivor Henry, is the best that I've seen as far as ladies is concerned in the Americas. Remember Rosalind Emmanuel with the USA team a couple of years ago. One of the former West Indian and USA player, wicketkeeper batsman, who resides in USA now in the New York Tri-County area. 49 it is for 4. Khan is on 8. Zia is on 7.
Yes, and Eddie, I'll have to give it to Milton Taylor, the main curator here, the head curator, and his staff. They've been preparing some good, lovely pitches here, and this pitch has become now to be known to be the international cricket, the one that is furtherly west of all of the 3-4 wickets over there. So at least they're playing on the same wicket that the men, the ICC tournaments are being played on. West Indies against India and Sri Lanka and New Zealand. That's the turf that they're using. So at least they can say they've gotten the best of the lot. That seemed to be the best of the lot, in
Yes.
my guesstimation.
Yes, indeed. And I don't think that they would have it any other way. As what we're seeing now from the southern end.
There's a full toss, and the captain was ball watching there, and there goes the run out. She was trying to say early on, we're not going to have any run outs as we would have had yesterday, and now the captain was guilty of ball watching. It was almost a catch, let's put it this way, but the striker saw that the ball was going away from the fielder, called for the run. The skipper Khan was looking to her left, and when she saw Zay coming, she took off, and it was a bit late. And the fielder was really, really alert to realize that the run out would have been at the striker's end, although she was closest to the bowling end, and she sent a good throw to the keeper. And again, I have to commend the keepers. They've been sharp, both keepers. They've been very alert, Eddie.
And the captain, Khan, is not having any of it either. She's letting Zay know before she leaves the field exactly how she's feeling. And perhaps she was telling Zay that it was definitely too short. The ball was going straight to the fielder, and we should not have taken a run, but you forced me to do that. And as the captain, I went to the danger end, and the end result is I lost my wicket. So it's 49 for 5. Canada chasing 114 for victory. Ivor Henry.
Well, I'll turn it around. I think she would have left some parts in instructions in a positive way for Zia. And she would have spoken to the incoming batsman, and I'm sure the instruction was to carry on and do not let my wicket, the dismissal, get you downhearted. You can do it. Continue. We're just around 50. We can score another 60 odd runs. I believe that's what she would have said. She cannot leave her dejected, saying, okay, we have 65 runs to make, and see what you would have done. No, we're not going to make it because you would have run me out. No, I don't think so. I think there would have been some encouragement from her as a captain and as a leader. But we'll watch and wait. As the first delivery was right up in the block hole, and the batter comes forward and plays it as if to say, as days of old, the first ball you're not going to get out, no matter what it is, you're going to play it down. Martin is the new batsman. Martin. So let us see Martin, the taller of the two. And she's pulling well. She's going to get 4 for this. So like we said, Eddie, the instructions were to bat every ball on its merit. That was a loosener going down the leg side, and she swiveled and got a good hold of it got past the man up in the circle, the square leg, and went beyond the boundary rope. That brings up to 50. It is
Yes,
53.
indeed. Good looking shot there from Martin. That delivery was swung away with lots of authority and aggression, and certainly she has shown some sign of revival here, Ivor Henry.
And that's what I'm saying. Follow the instructions. You're not out of the woods. You can get there, and we got to make it competitive. This time, she's coming forward to one that was right up in the block hole. So, a good comeback there by the U.S. Team, having been struck for 4 around the corner. They came back with a lovely delivery, and a dot is always a good. It's better if you get a wicket after you've been struck for 4, but you will take a dot ball any day after being struck mightily. And Eddie, we are yet to see a maximum. I'm not sure we're going to see one, but one came very close when, I don't remember her name, but she got caught down on the boundary, right on the boundary ropes, and there was another 1 bounce 4. But they're 65-yard boundaries, and I don't think it's beyond these ladies. But I have to go back to days of old. I don't think the coaches are practicing these ladies to hit 6s because they played some nice ground strokes.
Yes, they would want them to keep it not aerial but on the carpet, the real, knowing that they're not going to get caught or get out when the ball is being played on the surface, on the ground. But if you go aerial, the chances of you getting out is very high.
There you go. So here it is. Zia again playing with soft hands. I said that's the instructions, I believe, that would have been the parting words from Skipper Ken. You can just work the ball around, and you know the loose one would come along and try to be aggressive when needs be. No more run out. This time down the leg side, and she's trying to sweep. And as you can see, the umpire indicate that that one was going down the leg side. Would have struck her full on the pads, and she pulled out the boom again, Eddie, trying to do some house cleaning. But this time, the willow did not catch up with the leather.
I think we can now classify there as a constant.
And this time, she's given. Ill advice, she's playing right across that one. Now she's playing the correct stroke, as if to say, I should have played that one with a straight bat. She played right across it. She missed, and the umpire would have said that was going to go straight into the
cannons into the stumps.
Yes, so umpire Samir
Badikar with that dreaded index finger, one
Yes.
that so many players would have been afraid of when it is raised in the positive position, signaling that you have to go back to the pavilion.
Yes, well, I know men are afraid of the finger, Eddie. So when you're playing and you see that dreaded finger is going up, you are afraid of the finger, even medically. But here, in terms of cricket, 6 has been down, 53, so we have not scored after that lovely 4 down to deep backward square leg by Martin.
So the new batter is Asmat. Takes the guard from the umpire. And Beckford, Ivor, is bowling extremely well. She has bowled so far some 2.3 overs. And she would have picked up, what, some 2 wickets? That one is played into the cover region. And that's another dot ball. 53 it is for 6. Again, it is played into the covers. And what we've seen thus far, Ivor Henry, the bowlers are trying to induce the batters to play some shots aerially. And they're not being forced to do that at all. That one is struck on the pad. There's a loud appeal, but the umpire saying that it was going down the leg side. The over comes to an end, and at the end of the over, at the end of it, Canada chasing 114 for victory. There are some 56 for the loss of some 6 wicket. Ivor Henry. Martin is on 4. Asmat yet to score.
Yes, and umpire Samir Badikar again indicating that that ball was headed down the leg side. And Eddie, in the LBW, rules, he has 4 things that the umpires has to consider. First of all, you have to consider whether the ball was a no ball. That means you don't go any further. Would the ball would have played on the bat, then you don't look any further. Then would the ball would have struck the batsman between wicket and wicket. And most importantly, would it have hit the wicket? Because if it would not have hit the wicket, then it's no use. But the umpire decided that one would not have hit the wicket, the last one. In the meantime, there was a square-driven shot, aerial, and just out of the outstretched arm of the fielder, and scampers through for 2.
So which one would you have considered first, though, Ivor Henry?
The very first one is the no ball.
Do you think they always do that?
That's the order, the no ball.
But do
If
you
it's a
think
no
they
ball, you
always
look
do
no
that?
further. Huh?
Do you think they always do that, though?
Well, the umpire should do that
Okay, thank you. That's all.
when considering an LBW decision. And there's a dead ball. The batter was not ready, so she withdrawn. She did not make an effort to play the delivery
You would have gotten a wicket that way, didn't you, Ivor?
with the batter withdrawing.
Withdrawing. Naughty, naughty young
this one is
man.
in the air but away from any fielder, and the striker would have turned blind. And in the end, it was not such an easy second one. In the end, the non-striker had to really put the wheels on. As Matt has to put the wheels on to get back in, as the throw came in one bounce. And it's good to see the help coming in from Ramata, helping out. Guess she needs another helmet. So
She dived extremely well there. That helmet might have cracked in the middle somewhere there, Ivor Henry.
yes, when she ran in, there was.
So it's all in a honest day's work, young lady. Good run in between the wicket between Martin and Asmat. Takes the total to some 57 for 6. And we're here at the Broward County Stadium.
They would have another camera that would be following the ball, but at least they have you here to explain to the viewers where the ball is going, Eddie. So the streaming and the picture quality has been really, really excellent. So we've got to try to match that with our description of play. So play's been held up a bit because Asmat, she has had a change of helmet as she ran in for the second one. The helmet would have gone into the ground there a little bit, and apparently something would have gone away. Well, we're back to live action now as Ramata holds, and she's swinging this one to leg, not getting a good hold of it, but there's protection in the deep. Send a strong throw into the bowler, and like we say, Eddie, some men cannot even get the ball in on the bounce, and she threw that one straight into the bowler.
Yes, indeed. Shows very much that they put in their practice, their practice session here. They're putting it to good use, Ivor Henry.
Yes, the hard work has been shown and been seen here. So for all you viewers out there, I hope that you're enjoying what you're seeing. It's Cricket in America. And let me remind you again, 1844, September 23rd, that when the first match was played over there in Manhattan between the United States of America and Canada. It was a 3-day match. And this time he's swinging across this one, and it's a loud appeal. And the umpire is unmoved. And he now sending the signal. It's a leg by. So Arnold Madela.
59 for 6. The extras goes up by 1 to 7. 12.5 overs gone. You can say just about 13 overs completed, Ivor Henry, and they're looking to get 114.
This time he's swinging this one to the right of the bowler, but he can only get one for that effort. As we come to the end of that over, that's over number 15.
Number 13. That's your lucky number, Ivor.
Number 13. Okay, okay. Yes, over number 13 is 60 for 6 from 13. Ramata
That sounds
is
like
on
a
15.
song. 60 for 6.
Ramata, yes. Ramata has bowled some, what, 3 overs?
3 overs, no maiden, none for 15.
None for 15, right. That's what I was reading. I was wondering where the 15 came from.
And
But Ramata
Iftikhar,
has given up some 15 runs.
and Iftikhar, on the other hand, would have bowled some 2 overs, no maiden, and she would have taken some 2 wickets for 15 runs. So while Ramatar has been expensive in one area, Iftikhar has been pretty much economical in the other.
Bowling with a cap in the air, but not going to go all the way there. Thinking 2, there was hesitation. They've got to make their mind up.
You think the USA team sends victory somewhere around the corner, Ivor Henry?
Well, I would hope not. They should play every ball and do not get complacent, because in the future that can be bad for you. You have to play and know that cricket is a funny game. You're going to get 36 runs from an over. So you're never out of the woods. Just tell yourself you're in a pretty good position, but you cannot just let your guards down. You've got to play every ball, and this is what the US is doing. You've got to learn to tighten the grip and put it beyond any kind of mathematical equation where your opponent can win. For instance, last over, 37 runs, you would dare to tell your bowler not to bowl a no ball or a wide. So if they did not hit the first ball for 6, you know the equation is in your favor. Up until that, you've got to play every delivery, knowing that the opponent has a chance to win as well.
That delivery swung away down towards backward square. And the batsman takes a single. Martin is on 13. Azmat, surprisingly, Ivor Henry has yet to score.
She has faced some 5 deliveries, so she has sucked up a few. They need to get it turning sooner or later.
Perhaps
She's
playing
been
the
in a spot
anchor
of
role.
bother in running 2 runs for Martin. But she's changed that helmet now. Let's see. This time she's playing back along the track in the offside. She's telling the other batters what should have been done. You're supposed to be playing straight like that instead of playing across the line.
And of course playing the supportive role or the anchor role to Martin.
There again, she's posing nicely for the camera. So she's playing, seemed to be a wristy player. She's playing with a wrist. She's just coming down in the pool fashion. And again, well trained. Play the ball along the turf. If cricket is the winner and you're the winner, and you're now coming back into competitive cricket, it's all well and good. It's good. 63 for
Iftikhar
6.
would have all that all day long, Ivor.
And that one was coming back into the batsman, Eddie. So these ladies, I can tell you, I'm very impressed with them.
I must say that I am also impressed, perhaps just as much as you are. But Iftikhar has completed her over. She has bowled some 3 overs, and still she has taken some 2 wickets for 18 runs, while Ramator has taken none for 15, 63 it is for 6. The partnership, Ivor Henry, according to the scoreboard, has yielded thus far some 10 runs, 14 overs completed.
And they go just swing and a miss.
So good delivery from Ramator. Ramator just dazzling the eyes of Martin. Saw that one as big as a breadfruit. Bashkar giving chase, pulls it back some 20 yards away from the boundary, and the batsman was able to complete 2 runs. So 2 well deserving runs for Martin, and more importantly for the Canadian team. 65 it is for 6.
So she gets off the lucky 13, and now she's on to 15. So like we said, 65, they're just one short of what they would have made yesterday. So there's improvement already. They batted 20 overs yesterday and scored 66. So let's see if they applaud. That's a good looking cover drive. Good looking, and it was forwarding from the time it left the bat. My word. Oh, glorious.
All along the ground, it brought the crowd here on its feet. But bring the crowd alive. Good looking shot.
Yes, and like I said, they've gone past that 66 they made yesterday, and it's gone into a good number. 69 it is.
Yes, indeed, a favorite number of a cousin, a very dear cousin of mine.
Yes.
Perhaps this is yours as well, Uncle Ivor.
Yes.
So 69 for 6. The partnerships thus far has yielded some 16 runs.
So it's very interesting that it's upside down. It's a 6. You turn the 9 upside down, it becomes a 6, and then there's a 6. Yesterday the score was 6 for 6, and this time the batsman showing signs of aggression, but it's an under edge, and the ball trickles back to the bowler, and they can't score. But my word, that was a glorious looking cover shot. That was the shot of the match, shot of the day, maybe of the tournament. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow we're inviting you to stroll into the park and witness the third and final match between these two teams. This is the women's ICC qualifier. The 69 has short-lived, Eddie. It's gone on to 70 at the end of the over, and the end of over number 15.
They required some 44 more runs to win from some
5 overs. So
5 overs.
It's just 8 runs and over. 8.8 to be exact.
Might be easier said than done.
Well, instruction just went in, Eddie. As you can see, the 12th man went out. And again, let the folks know this is an ICC approved venue, which is playing an ICC approved match between the ladies. So the scoreboard is showing 44 to win from 30 deliveries. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, believe it or not.
So Ivor, that young lady for the Canadian team who was feeling so well in the cover position, her name is Quasi. She has the number 92 on the back of her jersey.
Okay.
So now we know who she really is. Put on some explosive fielding out in the middle when the Canadians were feeling.
This one is in the air.
Lady that took the catch, and it wasn't going anywhere. She was in the covers.
Okay, so we can just, she has gone for 20. That's her contribution. And so they've gone past the 6 weeks they would have lost yesterday. They've gone to 7. So 74-7. So again, I'm going to say there is improvement. So the coaches and captains and officials for the Canadian team, they have to keep their head held high. As you can see, there is improvement. Today, early in the day, they would have won the toss, that's the Canadians, and they would have inserted the USA in to take first knock. They would have scored some 113 runs, 113 for 6 from the allotted 20 overs. So the run chase here for the Canadians is 114.
And on her way back to the pavilion, she's been asked now to take a bow, realizing that she would have done her part and hoping that the rest of the batters would carry on. They really need to get this win here, Ivor. Some 15 overs gone, and they're lingering at 70 for 7. Another 43 more required.
Well, they need 44 to win. This time it's punching off the back foot back along the offside. So it's an interesting duel between these two now, because like we said, they've gone past the 66 yesterday, and the USA are not. It's an outside edge, and good running between the wicket. It was always going to be one, because the ball was slowly running to the third man area, and she was in a defensive mode. She was not attacking the ball. So just from the coach's manual, she's not attacking the ball. He's running slowly to her left, perhaps, and she's a right-hander. There was always one for the taking. So I'm going to see if we're going to see all sevens on the board, Eddie. Yesterday we ended with all sixes, stroking it nicely. Again, as if you're in the nets practicing. So one of the owners here is not to give away your wicket. But Eddie, I'm telling you, it's a revelation to see that this stadium has been used and the ICC has come on board with cricket in the US of A, and to my mind has revived cricket, because we were here with a set of old men just running around here playing cricket a few years ago, and just go to the field to probably get away from the home, the wives, the children, or whatever on a Sunday, and drink a beer or two, some hard liquor. But now, USA, the men seniors have made it into and he's bowled him, he's knocked him over. And again, she was playing a cross-batted shot, Eddie, for one that was pitched right dead on center, and she played right across it, and her off stump was knocked back.
So Iftikhar strikes again. She has bowled some 3.5 overs, Ivor Henry, and she would have taken some 4 wickets for some 19 runs. So good bowling from Iftikhar in operation from the northern end, the most successful of the bowlers thus far for the USA team.
Yes, and she was the 6th bowler.
Is this Wallison coming back from the southern end, Ivor? I agree. So play back to the bowler just on the left side of the pitch into the mid-off region. 74 for 8. 16.4 was gone. So that ball is a good, very important eye, but they're good as gold dust. And certainly, I don't think that they would want to do that, because I'm pretty much sure that the coach and the other members of the coaching staff, even the captain, would be out there telling them that the game is not over until it is over. So they don't want to be, they wouldn't want to get complacent at all. They don't want to give Canada anything to celebrate. Don't want to give the Canadians any thought of winning this game at all. So 42 win from some 3 overs. And now you see a couple of the Canadian players, perhaps the 12 and 13 men, going out towards the boundary area, trying to offer some support. Playing the supporting role, because he has beaten all ends up there. Indeed it is. Dive in for your life. Dive in so you can live to fight another day. That's the song or tune being beamed out in the middle. Sure, they wouldn't mind. They wouldn't mind doing that. Indeed, it was. So so as Matt comes back to the pavilion, Ivor, after sucking up quite a number of deliveries, managed to score some 2 runs, but nonetheless she was playing the anchor role to the other batters, particularly Martin, who would about a couple of overs ago. So it is Quasi and Beige out in the middle. 18 overs completed. Ivor Henry 76 for 9. You think this might very well signal the end of the end? Think that was going down the leg side. certainly it would be nice to try and see if we can get the captain of the winning team as well with of the captain of the losing team. But seems like all is busy now. The USA team is doing a little bit of an exercise while the Canada team, the Canadian team, so to speak, Ivor, is also doing a little stretching, and I'm pretty much sure that they will have a little discussion before heading back to their respective hotel rooms. So, any departing words there from you, Ivor Henry? I would venture out to say probably in the 90s. It's extremely hot. So we're at the Broward County Stadium here in the city of Lauderhill in Broward County in sunny South Florida. And the sun is out in all its glory. Ivor Henry along with Eddie Edwards. We just saw the ICC Women's Qualifier, America's 2019, won by the US of A. Would have sent into bat by the Canadian team, who would have won the toss, and they would have scored some 113, and the Canadians in reply, Ivor Henry. Particularly those in Antigua, St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, India, Pakistan, Canada, US of A, Tri-County states. Certainly, Ivor Henry would like to give you exactly what transpired here today. Iftikhar, tremendous bowling performance by her, and certainly I'm pretty much sure that the captain of the USA team not only would recognize that, but would also name her man of the match, if I would venture out to say that. Well, I can agree with you, even though we don't always agree. But there's a first time for everything, right? (11 a.m.) So as we look downstairs, just below the commentary booth or the commentary box here, we see that the former Canadian cricketer Ivor Henry, Zubin Zakari, the man that you would have interviewed early on this afternoon, making preparation or arrangement for what one would suspect would be the ceremony, the match ceremony, or perhaps the presentation ceremony. And we see just to our left, the Canadian teams are making their way into the dressing room, and to our right, the American team taking the opportunity to take some photo apps, Ivor. Videos and some pictures with the victorious America team. And below us is one of the umpires, well, two of them rather. So early on that he would have handed Zubin Zakari a little bit of note there, perhaps with man of the match. So is all that is required of us here. So until tomorrow, well, Ivor Henry's asked me to continue, so he is videotaping the victorious America team just below the commentary box at the Broward County Stadium here in the city of Lauderhill in sunny South Florida, and the sun is out in all its glory, and the curators down there in the middle preparing the pitch for what should be an exciting game tomorrow, and certainly been asked to be here at 11 a.m. promptly. The organizers are asking for an 11 a.m. start. So what Ivor Henry said, I have to be here before. That's the man that's writing the check. So anytime that check is being written by someone else other than you, you have to comply. So Zubin Zakari is making his way out there now. So we've seen the victorious American, 3 members of the victorious team celebrating there. And that's all we have seen from the Americans so far. Ivor Henry, celebration, celebration, celebration. While so we are looking at Imtiaz, we're looking at Quasi, we're looking at Azmat as they rifle away out from the Canadian dressing room, and certainly the South Florida sun is barreling down on these young ladies there, Ivor Henry, while the curators out in the middle, they are preparing the pitch for tomorrow. So that's pretty much what we are looking at here at the Broward County Stadium, where you have just witnessed the ICC sanctioned game between USA and Canada. USA, of course, coming out the victors of this tournament. They would have won 2, as Ivor Henry alluded to early on, 2 of 3. So tomorrow is the grand finale, and pictures and interviews, I'm pretty much sure, will follow. So we are going to close it off here from the Broward County Stadium. Eddie Edwards and Ivor Henry would like to thank you not only for joining us, but for your kind words, even though that you were at home and decided to make it your business to stay home and venture out, if possible, if it was possible, so to speak, to watch us and listen to the commentary. Hope that you will do the same thing tomorrow. So Eddie Edwards and Ivor Henry signing off from the Central Broward Regional Park or the Broward County Stadium. Which one you prefer?